Plant medicine integration. Well, I guess a lot of us now have done plant medicine, and the conversation since the very get-go, since I did my first ceremony, was integration, integration, integration. It started with the idea that at least 50% of the plant medicine journey is integration. Then eventually I started doing some contemplation and actually realized that no, it's more like 90%. And then I changed that as I've gone on this path longer and longer and seen more and more friends and different people along this path. It just keeps going higher. I'm pretty sure integration is 99.9, if not more percent of the entire experience. For if it was that we just did a plant medicine ceremony and we became a greater version of ourselves, wouldn't that be kind of a sad hack, realistically? From the perspective of ourselves when we're a sad version of who we are, it seems like the best thing we could ever get is a hack, is a shortcut, is something that's going to get us to the place that we want to be. However, as many of you know, the honeymoon phase after the ceremony is short-lived, and the work, as we call it, as some of us have a lot of resistance to, needs to begin. What does the work entail? Well, as long as we're going into the ceremony with clear intention, our integration is going to be formulated going forward from our intention. But if our intention is not clear, how can we integrate? The full gamut of the plant medicine experience is our integration. There is nothing else other than integration. So what is your goal? Why are you coming to the ceremony? What is the point of all of this? A lot of us, if we dive very deep within, we might notice, if we're really honest, that there are some hidden things about ourselves that we don't want to look at. I, for one, have found many, many, many of them, and I continue to find more and more of them. And it just so happens that the more I look within myself, the more I can see it in others. And solicited, not unsolicited, I can help them. Very often, I will be in a position where I can notice the different things that I find myself doing. That we can actually, as a community, come together and integrate each other because of our intentions. So once again, bringing it down, what is our collective intention? Is it to see myself and to illuminate myself to myself? Or is it for all of us to illuminate each other so that if one can see another, we can see ourselves? And really, at the end of the day, integration is just about seeing yourself. So what happens when we have someone mirroring ourself to ourself, yet they're not a very clear mirror? Well, this is the unending issue that happens. We can declare to ourselves that we have grown to become this new person, and then we are met with resistance. And how does that feel to our heart? Not so good. But wait a minute, who's right? Is it me who's declaring to myself who I am? Or is it this other person who's saying they have a clearer version or a vision of us that we cannot see? Well, this is really, really tough. This is the whole reason the integration process slows down. One is because we don't have a community around us. We go to a retreat in Peru or wherever, and we have no one to integrate with. Okay, that's one circumstance. The other is we are integrated in a community, yet we find ourselves running into resistances with our mirrored reflections. Why would that be the case? Well, I have found a very important piece of integration. I know it's taken a little while to get here, but the most important thing is that you are integrating in the same direction. How can you integrate each other unless you know what your goal is? If your goal is truth and to see yourself, well, goodness gracious, truth and healing are synonymous. I'll let that sink in for a sec. Truth and healing are synonymous. They can't not be. For what is healing other than to bring yourself into equilibrium with your reality? Equilibrium with your reality is to see things clearly, is to be present in beingness, in truth. We're not talking about truth to do with some sort of benign thing that you think that is true, but there's no provable thing about it. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about facts to do with this and this study over here. Oh, but there was also this study. We're talking about the truth of your reality. Healing comes from truth of seeing yourself. But a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't want to see themselves. And I'm not saying that is to be projected upon and say, oh, they don't want to see themselves and that's why. If we want to see ourselves, we will see ourselves because that's our intention. If we have that intention, we will intend together to see each other. Unfortunately, one thing I noticed within my own experience is that I actually was prioritizing accolades or appreciation. So the people that would appreciate me, I found that that was my truth. Unbeknownst to me, that was not the truth. That was not the truth that I was going to be able to hold as an aspect of myself that would hold up to scrutiny, that would hold up to unending challenges coming from all directions. It would go, well, as soon as there's any degree of a challenge, my truth is now destroyed by the external reflection not mirroring back to me the thing that I need from it, the thing that I want from it. So how can we move beyond this? We must hold each other to account of our actual intentions, getting clear on intentions, getting clear on whys and directions. The way that I was just having this conversation and it was described was, we have a map. We have where we're going on the map. My truth is aligning with that truth. Is it perfectly aligned? Certainly not. I'm still human and still fallible. And you are taking your own path, but we still have the same goal. We are still going to the same place on the map. You might cross a river. I might choose to take a bridge. Who knows? I'm not going to condemn you for taking the river, and you're not going to condemn me for taking the easier path. We are just going the same direction. As long as we get there, we're stoked with each other. We're very happy about each other's decisions. It just so happens, unfortunately, that if we don't know where that is, and we don't want to hold each other accountable to that which is our truth, things will start to feel unsafe. Look around you. How many times have you actually spoken your truth and it not be received? Or maybe even what has happened is you've been condemned for it. And I'm not saying your truth as in, my truth is that you are being really, really mean. No, that's not a truth. Your truth is that if you experienced pain in relationship to something that has happened and you vulnerably spoke it and someone did not receive that as a relevant part of your relationship, well, that person does not have the same goal as you. For if we're moving in the same direction, it doesn't matter what route you take, but it certainly matters that we are going the same place together. Certainly, the people that are closest to us as friends, we'll be traveling in a caravan together. So if they take the river, we're taking it with them. There are other people, maybe not so much. But regardless, if we want to create deeper bonds with each other, that is actually something that gets us closer to the end game goal of feeling trust in beingness, trust in presence. It's when we don't feel trust in our own experience that things start to get scattered, things start to get confused. How does this all tie into integration? Well, it ties into integration because integration is everything to do with plant medicine journey or anything else, even going to a counselor, even going to anywhere you're seeking healing. We must be clear on our path. To integrate is to have a clear, focused place we are going. And this is all tying it together that if you would like someone to help you to integrate, it is something that is my highest joy. And unfortunately, I don't normally let people know that that's something that I offer and that's something that I do. But I love to do it. I love when people go through plant experiences and really clarifying and purifying their life so that everything that they do is an alignment. That's what we want to do. And we want to get you to that North Star or to that place on the map so that you're continually flowing in proximity to it. Because there's nothing worse than knowing where you're going and not knowing that the people around you aren't going there with you. We must know, and sometimes it helps to have an outside perspective. I'm here for you, I'm here for that, and I love you. I'll see you in the next video.